This weekend, we start off with Bafana Bafana player Ricardo Katza, who is now Director of Football at Grey College in Bloemfontein. Grey College, of course, everybody knows is a traditional powerhouse in rugby and cricket, but Grey has also been playing football since the 70s, which a lot of people don't know. However, they've decided to take another spin on their football and make it a lot more serious. And Ricardo is the person that's been tasked with the job of uplifting Grey College's football. And he set out a 5-year plan, and he's trying to achieve his plan. And he's actually been phenomenal at trying to achieve this plan. So Ricardo is a great is a great person to actually see how you set up your goals, what do you do in your goals, and how to achieve the goals. Especially in a school where your sport, even though it's a dominant sport in South Africa, sometimes is a secondary or gets overlooked in a school. I'd like to just welcome Ricardo. Welcome, Ricardo, to coming to join us today for our webinar. This is the 6th in our series, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. And you've actually attended the last, I think 3 webinars.
Yeah. Good morning, Son, and good morning to everyone that's listening in. This is quite exciting. Yesterday I was listening to Zanele speaking when we were preparing for today. It's amazing that how the principles of sport and the idea of us having different sports is all the same. The principles of training and all those things are the same. So what's nice is as well is that we have a chance to develop the kids holistically, not just on the field but off the field. So I'm quite excited to be here this morning and to share my experience of life at Grey College.
Great. Well, let's get started with you. I'll mute myself and turn off my video, and then you can get started. Just for the coaches that are attending, we still got a lot more coaches that are going to come and join us, but we'll repeat this throughout Ricardo and Zanele. Well, actually throughout all the speakers' speeches. If you've got any questions, post the questions either on the Q&A section or in the chat section. And Ricardo, Zanele, and Tanya will answer the questions after they've had their little talk up front. So don't feel afraid to ask questions. The more questions, the better. And there's no such thing as a stupid question. So there's lots of great questions that are out there. So please ask as many questions as what you can. Anyway, I'll get going. Ricardo, it's all up to you now.
Thank you so much, Son. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for this opportunity once again to be able to share. I've been in a professional setup for over 20 years. Started playing football in 1998 at 7 Stars in Cape Town, and never had any academy training, so to say. So I basically retired twice in my life. When I was 14, I retired from playing football. And then when I was 34, I retired again. But at the age of 14, I decided I'm not going to play football anymore. I'm just going to get through school and stuff like that. And only when I was around about 19 years old, I started playing football again, but just socially, and I was just enjoying myself. So I never had a plan actually to play football. It was never one of my goals. It was never one of my dreams. It was never one of my ambitions to play football. What was nice though was I think my leadership ability. I was always that guy in the group that wanted to do something first, or when I say we do something, everyone would follow and stuff like that. So and not knowing that actually helped me throughout my life. When I came to Supersport in 2003, I think it was like after the 2nd game or the 3rd game, that Coach Pitso Mosamani decided to make me a coach, So only when I really got into it, I set myself some goals and then I had plans and stuff like that. So only when I got to Pretoria in 2003, obviously, and we can go around it, but football in Johannesburg is bigger than football in Cape Town or anywhere else in South Africa, because you have most of the professional clubs there. So then I realized I'm amongst better players that earns more money, that drives better cars, that has got better houses. So obviously I had a look at myself, and I said to myself that I don't want to stay where I am. So I had to create a plan in my mind on what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go. And one of my goals was to be successful at the club. My second year at the club, we won the Super 8. My third year, we won the Absa Cup. And then obviously in 2008, 2009, and 2010, we won the treble. And I also represented South Africa. So I realized there already that how important it was to have a plan. You know, even though I never wanted to be a football player, because I didn't have any role models in the football fraternity. I never watched football when I was younger. Yeah, I used to watch Liverpool play because my dad was a big Liverpool supporter, but I wasn't really into it. So there was no plan. I didn't have a plan, and you know, and only when like I said, when I got to Supersport, then I realized I need to put certain things in place so that I can work towards certain things. One of my goals was to play for the national team. I ended up playing for the national team from 2005 to 2010, just before the World Cup. I stopped playing. And like I said, I played for 14 years in a career that I never even planned for. But I can say out of that 14 years, probably about 10 years, I really started planning. Even towards the end of my football career, I started preparing for life after football. I knew that I wanted to coach. So there was a time when I took less money in my contracts. I set up my own contract towards the end of my career. I left my agents and then I started doing my own because I realized that what the agent was doing, I can do it myself. So I started setting up plans for myself. I went to an international coaching course in England in 2014, but in that was 2014 years. In 2009, when I signed my second last contract, I took less money and I added this course into it. So I knew that I wanted to coach afterwards. So that's the importance of planning and having a plan. And and then from 2012 up to 2018, I started coaching at the Supersport United Academy, which went very well. But at times it was one of the most difficult things for me as well, because now you go from being a player where you have to focus on yourself and what you can do for the team, to going into coaching, and now you have to focus on the 11 players that's playing. You have to focus on the other 11, the opponents. You have to focus on the kids that's sitting on the bench. You have to focus on the parents. You have to focus on the referees. You have to focus on the supporters, the people that stand there. So there's such a lot of things that you have to do. And again, what I've learned at the academy, that you need to have a plan. You always need to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're just you're gonna go nowhere. You know, I'm not one of those people that sets out on a journey, especially now, and just say wherever it takes me, because I don't want to end up wherever it takes me. I want to end up to where I've planned. I remembered I did an interview in 2013, just when I retired, and I said that in the next 5 years, I said when I was 35 or 40 years old, I want to be qualified as a coach. And in 2017, 2018, I became a CAF A licensed coach. So there was a plan, you know, and then came 1 April 2018 when I came to Grey College. And again, I always wanted to work at a school. I said to myself that when I'm done with being a professional coach or academy, I would love to work at a school, because I realized that for us to have better athletes, they need to be better students. And I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to say this again at the end of my talk, that when you coach the game, there's a lot of things that goes into the game. If you coach the game and you forget about the player, you're going to end up losing the game. You're going to end up losing the player. But if you coach the player, the player is going to bring you the game. You know, it's easy for a coach. I mean, any coach can pick his strongest 11 and win a game. That's easy. It's easy to put the best players, the most talented players, and win a game. It's not easy to change a life. And for me, and this is again one of my coaching philosophies, I would rather lose a game and take changing a kid's life, because that's for me is more important. But at the same time, not running away from the fact that you still have to bring the results, because if you do proper development, the development will bring the results. And I think sometimes we get it the other way around, especially in the academies. It's important that we get it right. You develop and then it brings the results. It's not the results and then development, because then it's totally wrong. So when I got to grade college, I realized again that being at the school, if a kid gets into grade 8, you will be at the school at least 4 to 5 years. So it was easy for me then to put a 5-year plan in place. So when I got to grade college in April 2018, obviously with my experience being at the academy, what I've learned at Supersport Academy, that to be organized, not just on the field, but also your admin work, to have a register, to have your training sessions prepared before you come to training. Because if you're a coach developing kids, somewhere in your day, you're going to have to take 3 to 4 hours out of your day, or 2 hours out of your day, or an hour out of your day to prepare the training session for the kids. So that means that you have to sit down and you have to think about what you're gonna teach the boys. But if you just rock up, and I think sometimes that's where we get it wrong as well. We just rock up at training, and maybe we saw something last night in the game on TV, and now you want to try it with the boys. There's a passing drill that you saw on the internet. Now you want to come and you want to try it with the boys. But you don't even know the conditions of the field. You don't even know the quality of the ball. You don't even know if the boys, if the boy ate last night, or if the boy slept last night. Now you're trying this advanced training passing drill, and you end up losing the kids. And then what do we do as coaches, and myself included? And guys, when I speak about us as and I say coaches, and I'm including myself, we end up shouting at the boy, not knowing where the boy comes from, not knowing if the boy ate, not knowing if the boy slept properly. So for me, it's all about having a plan, and in that plan, holistically developing the kids. So I went back into my emails when Son asked me to speak about the 5-year plan, and I actually got to the email that I sent to the school in 2018 when I got to the school. So I'm just going to ask Son to bring up that plan for me. If you can do that for me. Thank you, Son. So obviously, being at the school is quite different to being at a club. So if you can see, I started off with my plan, and now it's important also that you understand where you're at. When you're at the club, you can speak to the technical director about your plans and about things that you want to do. But when you're at the school, you need to, it's so much wider, you need to speak to the principal, because he's the head of the school. You need to speak to, like in this case, I spoke to Mr. Ludwig Kukumur, which is the head of sport. And then I had to speak to the SCB members. And then I also shared this plan with the parents, because those people are there because of the boys. The boys is at the school, and the parents is the ones that are dropping off the boys. And so for everyone else around me to know the plan, I had to share the information. So what I've done when I got to grade college, I played a couple of friendly games. I took the best players at, whether you were 14 or 18, I took the best 26 players. And I said to myself, this 26 players will make up the 5-year plan, because I know that these boys will be in the school for the next 5 years, 4 to 5 years, like I said, or some of those boys. And then if you see that I started out with, I want a list, I've got a list of 26 players, but then I only have 25 players, because one of the boys that I saw when I got to grade college, we played against Brebner, one of the very good football schools here in the province. And I saw this goalkeeper, Lesedi Mkwena. I saw him in the first 5 minutes. And what was nice was, because at Supersport, I used to scout for players. So we had a formula for scouting at players. So I knew exactly what I was looking for. And in the weeks leading up to that game, I realized that we didn't have proper goalkeepers at grade college. So when we played against Brebner, in the first 5 minutes of the game, I saw this goalkeeper. And I said to myself, I want this boy to come to grade college. And that's what I said it like that. I said, I want this boy to come. And then I actually included him in the list of 26 players. So I took 25 from Grey and then the one boy from Brebner. And then obviously, I explained to the school, now you must also understand, like I said, again, being at Grey College is a rugby school. So being at Grey College, you're going to have to get around things. They've always focused on rugby and those other sports. So football was always there. Like Son said earlier, football was always there. But I remember when I went to scout at the tournaments at Grey College. The club used to send me to go and scout at the Intune tournament. I never used to watch Grey College because they never came out of the group stages. They were happy to be host of the tournament. They never came out of the group stage. So not once did I go to Bloem for the time that I went there and said, oh, this weekend I want to watch Grey College. And then I said to the school and I said to the parents and I said to the boys that we need to change that mentality of just being the host, of actually wanting to win tournaments at the school. You know, so what I've done is, for me to get, now you must also understand that me coming into the school, I'm already coming into a system that was there before I came in there. So then what I did was, I played a lot of games. So we didn't train a lot in the first month or two that I was there. We just played a lot of games so that I could see the boys. So if you look at the third paragraph that speaks about the different halves that I played. So then what I did was, whatever games we played, I organized it. We played for 3 halves. So I would try and play the best 11, and then I would play the second 11, and then I would combine the 2 11. So I would pick the best out of the first 11 and the best out of the second 11, and I would play them in the third half. And that's how I got through the teams. That's how I got to get to those 26 players. Sorry. And if you see there right at the bottom, it says, I've settled on 20 boys that will form part of the first team. So the first team at the school like Grey College is very important. Our rugby team has been unbeaten in the last 3 years. We haven't lost against anyone, you know. So the first team is quite a high thing when you get to school. So if you go to the next one where it speaks about the 3 players at under 14 at the yellow column, you see now what I've done is I've color-coded the kids, because now I'm presenting a football plan to people that not necessarily understand football. You know, a lot of people don't understand. So you have to break it down and you have to show them exactly what you're trying to get over. So then I had to color code the players, and you will see as we go down, right at the bottom in the red, it speaks about the goalkeeper. So you know that if you put something in the red, if you send an email, if you send something and you put it in the red, people will sit up and they will take notice. So I've included him. If he says there, I've included Sedi from Brebner, the goalkeeper, who I request Grey College to accept as a student, and he will add value to our first team football. And now, for me, you must also remember that no one, before Lesedi came to Grey, there's no boy that came on a football scholarship. Remember, the school is 163 years. And sometimes when I explain it to people and I want to put it into context, I always say to them, Lesedi is the first boy that came on a football scholarship in 163 years. You know, because Grey is known for other sports. So when I spoke to Lesedi's mom, and this is also important, when I spoke to Lesedi's mom for him to come to Grey College, I didn't put in front of her football. I said to her, Grey College is a school that has got a good educational system. And I said, what I want for Lesedi, this is what I said to the mom, what I want for the boy is that he gets a little bit better schooling and you know, so we can get his grades up, so he can also stand a chance to go to university. And because I already knew that he was a good football player, so my first priority was to get him into the school so that his education can be better. And knowing that when Lesedi is at the school, I will have him there at training sessions. So yeah, so that was the first 2 pages of my 5-year plan. The next one says that. So I've actually asked the school to put them in the hostel, but then by the time when I send this email and by the time I've come to experience what Grey is all about, I realized that there's not a lot of space for football players in the school, in the hostels, because a lot of the hostel space has been taken up by rugby and cricket and all these other sports. So on the one hand, it's also important that in your plan that you take care of the education of the boys, but because it's a football plan, you must also have a football plan for the part of that 5-year plan, because that's, I think in this case, that is more important than anything else, because the kid is already in school, so but what the school also wants to see is that me coming up with this plan as football related. So if you go down there, so what I've done is and this is also important to understand, or this is what I realize as well, is that don't try and reinvent the wheel. Don't go, like, this is what I said when I was in my interview at Great College. I said to the board or the panel, the people that was there, I said, I'm not here to save the football of Great College, and I'm also not here to impress anyone. I said, I haven't come here to change a lot of things. I'm just coming to add value to what is already there. So it's important that when we go to places like a school like Great College and these big schools, don't go and impress, because the minute you start impressing people, you're creating a lot of expectation. So it's important that you also, in this 5-year plan or in this plan that you have, that you also look after yourself as a person, because that's important. Don't put unrealistic goals in the plan, because if you don't reach it, the very same people that you're sending these things to is the very same people that's going to come back to you and say, but you haven't achieved what you said in your 5-year plan. So what I've done is I've got a 6-week program that I run at the school. This program I got from Supersport United Academy, and probably a lot of other academies use it. It says that I've rolled out a 6-week professional academy program, which include tactical, physical, technical, and technical development. I said it will start on the 16th. It started already on the 16th of April 2018, and this was from under 14 to under 18. So now, in my plan, I'm telling the school and I'm showing the school that I'm taking care of not just the first team, but I'm taking care of all the boys that comes and play football at Great College. So, and because it's a development program, you have to repeat things over and over and over again, because I believe that practice doesn't make perfect, but practice makes permanent. The more you do things and you practice it over, it becomes natural and it becomes permanent. So what we do at Great College, we've got a 6-week program, which actually runs over 7 weeks. So the first week we do defending. So it also helps. Now, this is also important to understand that when you lay out this plan to the coaches, there's no coach that's going to come in week 1 and do shooting, because or he's going to do set pieces, or he's going to do his own thing. Now, for me, as the director of football at Great College, for me to control a little bit to what the coaches do, I roll out the program, but I will never tell a coach how to do defending. I will never tell him what he needs to do. I will never say to him, coach this way, because now the coach must have the knowledge about what it takes to defend. So I give them the program and they must come up with the training session. So week 1 is defending, week 2 is defending, week 3 is transition from defending to attack, week 4 attacking, 5 attacking, and then 6 transition from attacking to defense. And then what happens in week 7? So week 7 on this program says you repeat week 1, but I've changed this a little bit. And then what we do in week 7, anything that you've done leading up to week 6, if you feel that you need to do something again, then you can do it. So week 7 then becomes a neutral week before we start the cycle again. So this program runs throughout the whole year. We've got a notice board with the dates. So this program, if you come into the office here at Great College in the football office, you will see that there's a board there, and the program runs throughout the whole year. And so the coaches knows when they come in, oh, this week we're doing defending, or this week we're doing transition, or this is a neutral week, so we can do basically anything that we struggle with in the last couple of days. So as the director of football, when I watch the game, or when I watch the training session on a Thursday, I would see in the coach's training session what week it is, because if it's defending, you will focus more on the defensive part of the team. I will be able to see that you training with the guys in the red bobs. So here's another thing that we have at Grey College, and we use the traffic light as an example. So all our defenders is in red, because when you get to a traffic light, if it's red, you have to stop. So our defenders and our goalkeepers, they're always in the red bobs. If you get to a traffic light and it's orange, it means you must slow down, you must be careful. So that's our midfielders. And if you get to the orange, to the traffic light and it's green, it means you must go. So all our strikers and our attackers is in green. So if you come to our training sessions, you will see that it's very color-coded, because it makes it easier for the kids to understand. You know, that you're playing defender. Okay, what is a defender? Defender needs to stop the goal. So what does stop mean? What color? It's red. So it's easy. So when we put out a rondo or 5 versus 2, I put out the bobs, the green bobs on the outside, green and orange bobs on the outside, and we always put the red bobs on the inside, because they know that when they go inside, they're going to have to defend. So that's important. And then what was nice, if you go to the next to the next one, no, not the previous one again, son, sorry about that. Let's go back. You'll see there we're speaking about the gym program. Now, the football never had a place in the gym of Grey College. They never went to the gym, or I didn't see them gymming, or I never heard them gymming. So what I did was, I went to the guy, his name is Hein Vosloo, and I said to him, listen here, can I see the program and who's where and who's doing what? And then I asked him, isn't there a slot for the football? So he said to me, on a Wednesday, there's 45 minutes. I said to him, I'll take it. And then he said to me, that's the only time. I said, it's fine, I'll take it. So what happens on the Wednesday, the first team goes to gym, because they're a little bit older, 17 years old, some of them 17, whatever. We have 15-year-olds in the first team and 14-year-olds. So we are very also specific with what they do in the gym, because you know that some of them are still growing. So it's important that you also know that as a coach. So the other thing that we also do is we do masterclass field sessions. We have picked the best boys on a Wednesday, whether you 12. What's nice is at the school like Grey College is that we got 2 schools on one property, you know. So I have the under 6 up to the under 18s. So I look at the best players, and then I take them on a Wednesday and we do specialized training with them. And we give each boy a ball, and you know, it's not the team. It's also not, it's smaller groups, but it's more individual work, or we do sessions. So you can see as well, what my plan that I've rolled out to the school, I realized also that the coaches that was there, they were not paid. So they were just working for the school or working at the football because they love the game. And then I said to them, if we want to improve the football at Grey College, we need to pay the coaches. So I made it my goal for the coaches to be paid, and I can proudly say that after 3 years that all our coaches has got contracts, even though now with Corona, with the pandemic, a lot of them haven't been paid because, you know, they haven't been working. But that was also one of my goals, and I've achieved that coaches are getting paid. The other thing that I also did was, when I got to the school, I also realized that the coaches were not qualified. So in the contracts of the coaches, we decided that we're going to pay for the coaching education. So what I did was, I went to South Free State, and I spoke to Coach Pera, which is the head here, and I said to him, Grey College has got the facilities, we got the fields, we got the clubhouse. I'll give it to you for free if you come and do a SAFA course for us. So we've got, I think there was about 30 coaches, 15 from Grey College and 15 from other schools in the area. And I can proudly say at the moment that all the coaches that's currently coaching at Grey College has got a D license at least. and 15 other coaches in the province at the different schools here in Bloemfontein also got a D license. So that's important as well, because I think also it's important that our coaches get qualified when we work with our kids. And we will go to the next slide, Sean, and then that should be the last one. Thank you. So again, like I said to you, if you look at that, I've listed the name and the surname of the player, the age, the date of birth, the grade, his first schooling mark, where he stays, and I've got a thing, if you're going to play for the first team, if you want to be the best, you must have a 50% average on your schooling. So if you look at it, there's only 3 boys there that didn't meet that requirement. But then when the moment you see again, it's in red, so it's a red flag. So I went to speak to the school, and I spoke to the teachers, and I said to them, listen, yeah, these boys are going to be part of the first team. How can we improve them? What can you tell me what is their struggles in the schooling? So we sorted that out. And again, I can proudly say Ntobeko Siali is finishing school this year. Reagan Porter is finishing school this year. Tyler Adams has got 1 more year to go. But if you look at it, the yellow, if you go right at the bottom, it says here that the yellow has got 4 years left in the school. The blue has got 3 years left. The green has got 2 years left. The yellow had 1. And when I got to the school, I had those boys in the red. Those were already the matriculants. So that was the 5-year plan. But if I look at this now, there's only 1 boy on this, on all this that's not at the school anymore. So the one right at the top, he's not at school anymore. He moved on. Yes. No. Sorry. Sia Bulela Mledi. He moved on. He went to Kiro. But everyone else on this list is still at the school, except the ones in the yellow and except the ones in the red. They've already left the school. So now we're left with this green that is leaving the school. So that means I have to redo this plan again. So that means everything that I said these boys would do in the next 3 to 4 to 5 years, they have done in 2 years. So these boys have already won the Nedbank Under 19 tournament, which Gray hosted for 12 years and never won it. And then we won it last year. These boys played in the ends and under 18 knockout challenge 2 years in a row in the finals, and just missed out on winning the tournament. You know, so the mentality and there was really changes that came. But that's my 5-year plan that I had with Grey College. So thank you, Son. Appreciate that for helping me with that. Yeah, so that's my 5-year plan. Thank God that a lot of those things that I said would happen came to pass. Actually went beyond my expectation, to be honest. But the other thing that I didn't mention to you a lot about is the parents. You know, it's important that as coaches you must understand that parents pay school fees. Parents brings the kids to school if they stay outside the school. So it's important that you also take care of the parents. You know, my first year was very difficult because they had an opinion, I had an opinion. I almost lost my job at Grey College, but thank God that because of different things. But thank God that I'm still here, because I realized as well is I think my first year at Grey, it was all about me. You know, I got it wrong a bit. It was about Ricardo Katza being at Grey College, and then I realized that no, it should be about the boys. It should be about the boys. It should be about their parents. It should be about creating a platform for the coaches. It should be about lifting up the name of Grey College. You know, so when that changed inside of me, the football at Grey College changed. So it's important as well for us that's in leadership positions, where we are in control of programs and things that we do, that we should know that it's not just about us. It's about the other people. It's about the people that we work with, you know. For me, I always say that when you come to me and I'm coaching you, if you can juggle 5 times, if you leave me and you can juggle 6 times or 7 times, then it means that you've improved by 2. And that's all, because the other thing that we must also realize as coaches and development coaches is that we don't make boys. And I think sometimes we say this thing like, no, I've made that player, I've signed that player, I've done like earlier I mentioned about Lesedi Mkwena, the goalkeeper from Brebner. Oh, Ricardo got this player. No, it's not Ricardo that got this player. We just give the boys the platform. We give the boys the opportunity. The boys are born with talent. Kids come with talent. You know, we just fine-tune the talent. We just play a small part of helping them become better in what they have to do. So yeah, so that's my 5-year plan. Sean, is that good? Is there anything else? Should we go to the questions?
So, okay, so Ricardo, I'll read the questions to you, and we've got loads of questions that are coming through. It's actually great to see how many questions we're getting. So the first one comes through from Sichaba. He's actually asked this question a couple of times through to different coaches and stuff. But what is the transition from defending to attacking entail? You know, during a game, what's the transition from defending to attacking?
From defending to attacking. So basically what happens is when you don't have the ball, there's certain defensive principles that needs to take place. You know, the basic ones is you have to be compact as a team, you have to shift as a team, you have to press as a team. And when you're in that defensive position, when you win the ball, and I think if you look at the game last night, Bayern Munich played last night. Every time they won the ball, they never played back to the goalkeeper. They went directly and they actually scored. They scored 2 or 3 goals through from defending, and then the ball got transitioned up to front. So then they were going into attack. So that is basically what it means. You're defending your team. You don't have the ball. Once you win the ball, you go immediately on the attack. You don't keep the ball. You go immediately onto attack. You're gonna try and score. And if you look at the game last night, Bayern Munich that played last night, that's what happened, and they won 8-0. That was a hammering. But I don't know if that answers the question, but from defending, you're in a defensive shape as a team, and once you win the ball, you go directly into attack. That is what it means.
I've grouped a couple of questions together because they're all about getting your coaches qualified. So I think one of the big problems in most sports is that you get like an old boy or an old girl or an old student or a parent to come and assist in coaching. Yeah. And the schools just take advantage of it in the sense that they don't invest in coaching, in basic training with these people. So the first question is, how can we get our coaches qualified? It is so difficult to get training for our coaches.
The SAFA obviously has got the D license, the C license, the B license, the A license. But what has happened now is that CAF has come on board. So now it's the CAF C license, the CAF B license, the CAF A license. So what they need to do is, and this is what I've done, like I said, at Grey College. I went to the association in Free State. I went to the Free State, SAFA Free State, and I said to them, I've got so many coaches, I've got 15 coaches in the school. How can I get them qualified? And the D license is going to cost you, what, 1,000 Rand to do a D license? So I think, again, it's up to the school if they want to invest in their coaches. You know, I made sure that the school invests in the coaches, because when you invest in the coaches, then if the coaches is more qualified, if they're more knowledgeable about the game, it means that they're going to improve the kids. You know, that they're just not going to come and do their own thing, because what happens at SAFA D license is it's very basic. It shows you how to work with kids from the age of 6 years old to 15 years old. So it's basically, it's an entry level coaching qualification. So go to SAFA, ask them, you know, say they must come and do the program. They do it. They come out and they do it. They do send people out to come and do it. So that's what I've done.
Now, I've got a saying that says that if you invest in a player, you're investing in one person. If you invest in a coach, you're investing in thousands of potential people.
Exactly.
So another question now, this one here I really like is that somebody's asking, Shaheen is asking, how can a young football player grow in his own football knowledge? And I think it's quite important that not only the coaches get their knowledge in football, but also their players get their knowledge in football.
Yeah. So what I've done as well at Grey College is I coach the under 14s, under 15s, or the ones that's coming from the primary school into the high school, because our under 13A and our first team is the two biggest football teams in the school. So the first team at the secondary school, and then the under 13A at the primary school. Those are the top teams at Grey College in the football. So everyone works towards that. So when they come out of the primary school from under 13A into the high school, they have to start again. And I think a lot of them, they don't know that they have to start again because they come into the secondary school. So then what I've done with them is everyone is supposed to have a book. You must get a book. You must go buy your book, whatever that you can write in. You have to paste the photo of the person that you think you play like. So if you're a midfielder, you put the poster of Iniesta. I'm just making an example. You put it in front, and on the first page of that book, you write down all the qualities of Iniesta. You write down what position he played, what foot is his strongest, what is his best quality. And then on the page next after that, they have to write down what their strengths is, what their qualities is, and all those things. So I'm making them aware of not just to grow their football knowledge, not just to know what they can do, but also what the person in their position is doing. So then that means they have to watch football. They have to watch a little bit of football. And then I also have this thing where I've limited the boys to 3 things. You have to pick 3 things that you're good at. So in my case, what I was good at defending, like kicking people. That was a skill. I was good at heading, and I was good at passing. So those were the 3 things that I focus on. And those were the only 3 things that I focus on, and it kept me in my career for 14 years. Because I made sure that those 3 things were the best things that I could do. I was a very good tackler. I was a very good header of the ball. I could do defensive headers, and I could score goals. And also I was very good at passing. So if you want to grow your knowledge, get those things. Get those 3 things. Get the player that you look at, and look at the world trend of football. Look at what the world is doing in football. When in the olden days you had left backs and right backs that was basically just playing until the halfway line, and then they would come back. Now you've got left back and right backs they play down. They like a linesman. They go down the whole line. They go up and down. So get the modern way of football. Think about that.
I've got a question that's coming up. I've pushed it a little bit up the order, so I will go back to the other questions, but it's still on this fact. That's why I wanted to bring it up. And it's a comment that's been made saying that this person feels that SAFA only supports good schools like Grey College, and they don't want to help the other schools. And I think in this one here, I think the actual point about it is that what you've done is you've gone to SAFA. So because SAFA wasn't supporting you either, and you've gone to them. How, as a school, that's it doesn't matter what level of school or how affluent the school is, how do you approach SAFA to say, listen, we need help. How can we help? How can you assist us in helping our own players out?
Yeah, I just want to say something on that. It's not a school like Grey College. What I did was I didn't go to SAFA as Grey College. I went to SAFA as Ricardo Katza, that is in Free State. That's what I did. I'm Ricardo Katza, not my name like the player. I went and I said to SAFA, the schools in the province needs help. That's what I said to them. Because like I said to you, there was 30 coaches on the course. It wasn't just the 15 of Grey College, it was the 15 of the different schools in the surrounding area. So I've opened it up to everyone. So when I went to SAFA, I didn't say, SAFA, can you come to Grey College because we have the facilities, because we can pay, and then it's just for us. I said, no, I went to SAFA and I said, listen, the schools in the area, the coaches is not qualified. What Grey's got the facilities. If Grey didn't have the facilities, I would have gotten a sponsor by someone to rent out a facility in the community somewhere. and I would get those coaches qualified. So it's not about the great college. It's not about great college, this big school. No, it's about you as an individual going and seeing that there's a need and going to make it and going to ask and ask for the help. They won't show you away. I can tell you now, they won't show you. What I found out that a lot of people here in Bloemfontein didn't do that before I came. No one went to SAFA and asked them. You know, so when I came, I said, oh, but coaches are not qualified. SAFA is just around the corner. Let me just take my car and go quickly and ask them, you know, make an appointment, go there and ask them. It's their right. They must educate the coaches. If SAFA wants better players in the national team, they must educate the coaches. So they have to go. So make an appointment, go and ask them. You know, if you don't get help in your local the local SAFA, call SAFA Johannesburg, you know, pick up the phone, get on the website, safa.net, call them and say, listen, we've been asking for help. They will send people to come and help you.
How many players do you have at Grey College that are on a football scholarship?
One. Only one. It's only Lesedi. Here's the other thing. Like I say, I can't change the way things has been done at Grey with regards to the rugby. Those things are already in place and it's been coming on for a very, very long time. What I can do is what I've realized now is what I do is most of my scouting happens in the primary school. So we train from 1 till 3 o'clock, and that's from under 6 to under 13. So then what do? I make sure that I'm at every training session. I make sure that the high school coaches is at every training session, and some of them even coaches at the primary school. And then I say to them after every training session, who was the best player today? Who's the one who stood out? Whenever there's a game, I would ask them, give me your best 3 players. Who stood out today? And that's how I now start working. The day is gonna come when I'm gonna be able to bring kids to Grey on scholarships. It's gonna come. But for now, the football, the results needs to be more. You know, for sponsors to come, for the school to say, hey, Ricardo, the football is doing well. We're giving you 5 spaces for this year. You can have 5 boys in the school. You know, but for now, the thing is to get to the 5-year plan, is to get another 5-year plan, is to get another 5-year plan. And in that plan, and in that plan, and in that plan, you always, like now, I can, we just won the Nedbank tournament in 2019, in September 2019. I just asked the school now, even now, so what happened was they took all the budgets back. So there's no money. And then I said to the school, the last time we bought balls, I just said it was in 2018. And then the school said, what do you need? I said, no, we need more balls. And we just bought 96 balls from Umbro. But one of the reasons is because we won the tournament, because now there's still a hype about this tournament that we've won. So I need to be clever, and I need to use what Grey College has for me at the moment. But I'm not going to fight against a system that has been in place for a very long time, because then I'm going to lose sight of why I'm there at the school.
I've got a question here. So Tabang, he's a coach at one of the Kasi schools, and he said he's got a lot of talented players. Now, how does he get, how would he get recognized by, even if it's not you, if it's a HTS Loberta or Harmony or Brebna or whatever school, how would you recommend for a coach to actually get their players seen by other schools so they can get bursaries and go to other schools?
So what I've done as well, I'm talking about Grey College because I'm at Grey College. I'm not going to talk about Brebna and all those other schools. So then what I do is I make sure that 3 to 4 times a year, we go out and play in the community. And 3 to 4 times a year, we bring the community schools to come and play against us at Grey College. Then we pay for the buses, we pay for the food and all those things. And then we bring them to the school and let them play. And that's how we get to scout players, or that's how we get to see players. So I can't speak for the other schools. I can't speak for the Brebna and all those other schools. But what we do at Grey College is we try and get out into the community and play as much games out in the community. And when we play those games, we use that opportunity to scout. So for example, I've seen a lot of good players that I think is at a good standard that can play academy football in the professional clubs. So I'm trying to set up a tour of a 5 to 6 day tour in January, where I can travel with these boys. It's not just at Grey College. It's not. It's for everyone. Anyone that can make up the 22 players, it's for them. You know. So and that's how we do it at Grey College. So we reach out, we go outside of the school, and we play, and we also invite. And the nice thing also is that there's a lot of times when SAFA asks us if they can use our facility. So one of the reasons why I say yes, because when I say yes, it means I get to see the Kasi schools. So they come and play. So now I get to see, in the comfort of the school, I get to see the players. And that's also the way that we scout players.
Okay, so there's two questions here with regards to dealing with parents. So one is, how do you keep a relationship with parents professional? And how do you build a relationship with parents?
Whew. It's a very difficult one, but it's also an easy one. It's difficult if you're gonna, if the, okay, so what we've done again at Grey College, I've got a mediator between myself and the parents. So there's a guy that's in between me and the parents. So I don't speak directly to the parents. I speak to the head of football, and the head of football speaks then to the parents. We've got WhatsApp groups for the under 14, under 15, under 17, and the first team. It's a group where only the admin can post. So then that's where the messages come through, whatever information. But in that group, in the communication, there's an email address. There's phone numbers that you can call. So if you want to have a meeting with me as a director or as a coach, you set up the meeting. Myself, I will be there, the coach will be there, and the parent will be there. There will never be a meeting between a parent and a coach alone. Because what coaches sometimes do is they promise the parent something. They say, no, don't worry, I'm going to play your child. And the parent, you must remember, they never forget that. If you say you're going to play, they don't forget. And because what happens is they will come on a Saturday and they will wait, and they will say, no, but Coach Katza, you said that my child will play. So it's important that you, between the parents, is that you get someone in between, because otherwise it's going to be personal as well. So that person that's in between, there's no personal issues there, you know, because I'm coaching the child, and if I say the wrong thing, the parent might take it as personal, or the son might take it. But if you speak it through someone else, get someone else, you know, that you can speak through. So if I'm coaching, for example, if I'm coaching an under 15 game, and one of the parents wants to talk to me, they don't walk onto the field and talk to me while I'm coaching. They talk to the person that they know that they can talk to, and that person will speak to me, and then I will get back to them. So that's how we deal with it. You have to be very careful with the parents, because every parent thinks that his child is the next Ronaldo or Messi. So don't make promises to parents. Don't make promises. Don't take gifts from parents. That's also very important. I had a lot of times, not just at Grey College and at other places, where parents would walk up to me and say to me, Coach, if you need anything, just tell me, I'll give it to you. But with that thing, you must know that he actually wants his child to play. So it's important that we don't take things. So what I say to the parents, if you want to give anything to the coach, whether it's a cool drink, whether it's money, whether it's a pair of tackies, whatever, go through this person. You give it to that person, and then we'll sit down and we'll discuss it, and then we'll give it to the coach.
Here's a question. It's actually from one of the media guys that's joined today. And he said, what made you join Grey College, considering that it actually is a rugby-dominated school?
Like I said earlier, I always wanted to work at a school. Now, I can tell you now, if Louis Botha wanted me, or if there was a post for a coaching position at Louis Botha, and it was good for my family and myself, I would have taken it at Louis Botha. It's just that at the time, the post came out at Grey College. And now, when I came to Grey College, I didn't just come as a coach. I came as a father. I came as a parent. I came as a husband. So when I spoke to Grey, I said to them, if you can't pay me what Supersport was paying me, for example, then you should take my kids into the school. That's what I said to them. I said I would take less money and rather let my kids be in the school. And that's what I've done. And there was opportunity. There was an open door. I didn't even think about Grey's Rugby School. I just thought there's an opportunity for my kids. Now, you must also remember now, in my background where I come from, I never had an opportunity like this to go to a school like a Grey College or whatever other big schools there is in the country. So I just thought about my kids. I've got 2 boys. I've got a girl. I've got a wife. So it's important that they are happy, you know. So I said to the school, listen, if you can take care of my kids, if you can put them in the school, then I'm sharp. So that's why I came to Grey College, because there was an opportunity for me to grow as a person, and also for my family to have a better life.
I think this will be the last question. Okay, we're going into Zanette's time a bit at the moment, but the question is, we all have clique groups within our teams that stick together and hang out together. How do you manage these cliques and get all your players to play as a single unit?
So this was a question that came up the other day as well. So what we do is, or what I encourage the coaches to do, if you see any clique, especially on the field, whatever, we always break up. We always play the cliques. We play against the cliques. So if you belong to clique A, we break up clique A and we let clique A play against clique A. So if there's small-sided games, if there's 11v11, we make sure that those boys that form in the clique, we make sure that they're always competing against each other. You know, so we never keep them on the same team. You know, but obviously when it comes to the game, they're going to have to be on the same team. But when it comes to training and when it comes to activities in the school, we always try and group them against each other. And that's how we break the cliques.
Well, thank you so much, Ricardo. That's been absolutely phenomenal. It's been great to listen to you. And I think the guys have learned a hell of a lot by not only the 5-year plan, how to set up your 5-year plan and maintain it, but also with regards to dealing with coaching and with SAFA and with educating your coaches. Often people stand back and say, well, things aren't happening to me. And you're saying to the guys, well, take the bull by the horns and go and do it yourself. Go and make it happen for your school and your team. I think that you also mentioned quite a few times, which we didn't really bring up in questions, but you spoke also about the sponsorship idea where you need balls. So go out and go to the local store, the local guy down the road from you and say, here's a school, we need balls, it's 1,000 Rand or something like that. Yeah. And you can always find something.
Yes, yes. We shouldn't be scared to step out and go and ask. You know, you said it earlier about the question. There's no wrong question. The only question that's wrong is the question that you don't ask. So I've got to believe as well, if you ask, it's either yes or no, but if you don't ask, it's always no. So go and ask. People will, if they see that you have the kids' interest at heart, they will sponsor you, I can tell you now.
And I don't think you need to even look for the hundreds of thousands of rands of sponsorships. Oh. A little bit here and a little bit there, and you get the stuff done.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Ricardo. Thank you so much. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, and I know you're going to be registered for the rest of the webinars, and you know, you keep on following us too. And it's been great to actually have you talking and helping the guys out. And hopefully we can get you to speak in a future one too.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thanks for all the questions. And Sean, thanks for the good work that you're doing as well. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.